The streets of London were cold that evening, with a steady drizzle dampening the pavement. David Beckham had just finished a long day of meetings and was on his way home, deciding to take a quiet walk instead of immediately getting into his car. The city buzzed around him, but he was lost in thought as he passed through a less busy part of town, where small shops were closing and streetlights flickered against the wet asphalt. As he turned a corner, he spotted something unusual. Sitting on the pavement near a closed cafe was a homeless man, hunched over with his arms wrapped around himself for warmth. His clothes were tattered, his shoes worn down to the soles. But what caught Beckham's attention most was the faded red and white football jersey the man was wearing. Even through the grime and rips, Beckham recognized it instantly. It was a Manchester United jersey from his early years at the club, with his name and number still barely visible on the back. He slowed his pace, curiosity taking over. The man didn't notice him at first, too focused on rubbing his hands together for warmth. Beckham hesitated for a moment, then stepped forward. "Hey, mate," he said gently. The homeless man looked up, his face lined with exhaustion. His eyes flickered with a mix of surprise and caution. Beckham crouched down to his level, offering a small smile. "That's an old kit you've got there." The man blinked, then looked down at the jersey as if he had forgotten he was wearing it. He gave a weak chuckle. "Yeah, picked it up from a shelter donation bin a while back. Used to be a big United fan, back when they were winning everything." Beckham grinned. "Good times, huh?" The man nodded, his smile fading slightly. "I used to watch every game, even played a bit myself, but life didn't exactly go as planned." Beckham could hear the weight in his words. He could tell that this wasn't just another man on the street. This was someone who had once had dreams, maybe even talent. "What's your name?" Beckham asked. "Danny," the man replied, his voice quiet. "Danny Harris." Beckham extended his hand. "Nice to meet you, Danny." Danny hesitated, then shook Beckham's hand, his fingers rough and cold. Beckham could feel how much this simple human interaction meant to him. Beckham glanced around. It was late, the streets growing quieter. He knew he couldn't just walk away. "Have you had anything to eat?" Danny shrugged. "Had a sandwich earlier. I'm all right." "Come on," Beckham said, standing up. "Let's get you something warm." Danny looked hesitant, almost suspicious, but Beckham's expression was genuine. With a small nod, he stood up, brushing off his jersey. Beckham led him across the street to a small 24-hour diner. The warmth of the place immediately melted away the chill from outside. A few heads turned as Beckham walked in, but he ignored the stares. They sat in a booth near the window. A waitress approached, eyes widening slightly when she recognized Beckham, but she kept her composure. "What can I get you?" Beckham glanced at Danny. "Anything you want." Danny hesitated, then asked for a full English breakfast, as if unsure whether he was allowed to. Beckham ordered the same. As they waited for their food, Beckham leaned forward. "So, tell me about your football days." Danny's face lit up slightly, the first real spark Beckham had seen in him. "Played midfield for a local club when I was younger. Had a good run, but then life got in the way. Lost my job, lost my place. One thing led to another." Beckham nodded, listening intently. "Football's a funny thing. Even when life changes, it never really leaves you." Danny chuckled. "Yeah, I still think about it all the time." Their food arrived, and for the first time in what seemed like a long while, Danny ate a proper meal. He took his time, savoring every bite. Beckham could see how much it meant to him, and it hit him. This wasn't just about a meal. Danny needed a second chance. As they finished, Beckham leaned back. "I've got an idea," he said. "There's a foundation I work with. They help people get back on their feet, especially those who've been through tough times. They can sort out a place to stay, get you some proper help." Danny looked up, his eyes filled with disbelief. "Why are you doing this?" Beckham shrugged. "Because someone should." Danny swallowed hard, looking down at his worn-out jersey. He gripped the fabric between his fingers, as if holding onto a piece of his past. I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything," Beckham said. "Just promise me one thing. When you get back on your feet, you help someone else do the same." Danny nodded slowly. Yeah, I will." Beckham pulled out his phone, making a quick call. Arrangements were made within minutes. A shelter with available beds, a contact who could help with job training. Danny wouldn't have to spend another night on the street. As they stepped back outside, Beckham handed him his number. "Call me if you ever need anything." Danny looked at the paper, then back at Beckham. For the first time that night, he looked like a man with hope. The next morning, a small story surfaced online. A diner waitress had posted about the football legend who had walked into her cafe and bought a meal for a homeless man wearing his old jersey. The post went viral within hours. News outlets picked up the story. People wanted to help. Donations poured into local shelters. But Beckham never commented on it. He didn't need to. For him, it was never about the headlines. It was about a man, a jersey, and a small act of kindness that would change a life forever. But this was only the beginning. Danny's story was far from over. Weeks later, Beckham received a phone call that would change everything. A voice on the other end was excited, almost breathless. "David, you won't believe this. Danny got a job at a local football club." The very same man who had been sleeping on the streets now had a second chance, coaching young players, passing down the knowledge he once had. Beckham smiled, knowing this was the real victory. Not just a meal, not just a warm bed, but a future restored. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to not miss out on daily content. Till next time.